against the 15% increment in tuition. They believe that is unfair, and they also say that the negotiations between the administration, Makerere University administration, and the students did not yield any tangible results, and that had been going on for about more than 5 months. So we wanted to find out exactly what is causing this. If the negotiations didn't go on well, what happened and why the strike? Is the strike the ultimate response to all these problems that are affecting the going-ons at Makerere University? And I'm privileged to be joined by none other than Miss Akelo Fanis Mary. Now, Fanis is a third-year student at Makerere University, and she's offering records and archives management. And she is also the Deputy Guild Speaker, and that is on my immediate left. Fanis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Edward.
Further on my left is Mr. Bahati Nelson. I prefer to turn around the names because he likes calling himself Nelson Bahati, but I'll go with the surname first. Bahati Nelson, and he is a 4th-year student at Makerere University, and he's doing journalism and communication. He is a Guild representative councillor. Mr. Bahati, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Edward.
Yes, we're glad that you're here and to discuss, the going-ons at Makerere University. And earlier on, we got to understand that someone said that the strike had actually been called off. Now, Mary, is the strike still on?
Yeah, what I will say is that I think I need to correct this. It has been a peaceful demonstration. Which turns it into a strike is just the presence of police and dispersing students. So otherwise, the intention is a peaceful demonstration, and I'll say it is still on. But today is the 4th of November, and the Guild leadership is intending to have a convention with the students' body to let them know of what has transpired through the 2 weeks and the responses we've got. Like you had the Parliament sat and they made some resolutions, and I want to believe that some students have not come across this, so a decision shall be made after the convention.
Mahadi, anything to add there?
Yeah, I heard you ask whether the strike is on or not on, but I think, in my own opinion, there is the way how the thing has been now. When you talk about a strike and you talk about a demonstration, these 2 words, they strike the line. There is the way they sound, a strike, a demonstration. Then when you ask me, is the strike still on? Actually, I wonder at first, because I know outside there, it seems you guys are perceiving this as a strike. But we didn't. Because
that's what people have been saying, and you guys have been saying.
Oh my goodness, no. It wasn't a strike. Okay, it started as a peaceful demonstration by very young few women who thought like, really, the situation is bad. The 15% has been imposed on the students, and they felt like they could do something. A small demonstration, a free demonstration with placards, let's move around. But after that, as the government comes in now to say, oh no, we don't want this, and the university says it will dismantle the situation and it will let the situation violent. Let's have these students stopped from their demonstration. And when they do that, they will bring in the police. And when the police comes, students will be violent. Of course, why are you curtailing our freedom to go on the street and
to express yourselves?
Yeah.
Demonstrate and express our opinions about something we feel is not good for us. Then there it will become a strike. But then, to come to your question, very fast, I think the strike or the demonstration is really still on. Students still want to hear what really has come out of this. So they are still eager to know. So the demonstration is really still ongoing.
I think every other semester today at Makerere University, there is going to be a strike, or there has been a strike at least. Do you think really that strikes that's the only language that the university understands? In order for them to understand your grievances and probably come to a solution, you must go, you must strike or demonstrate. I can begin with Mary.
Okay, maybe to supplement on that, yeah, to a greater extent, I would say a strike is not the best solution to the challenges we get. Rather, maybe dialogue can work better. But in a case scenario here, as what sparked of the strike at Makerere University, we've had dialogues and we've been expressing our dissatisfaction, but we had not yet achieved any results. So I want to draw you to the resolutions that were made by the University Council regarding the situation. We had a meeting, we as the guild leaders, and among the resolutions, they resolved to put a halt on the functional fees increment and not on the tuition increment. Those are two different things. So what the students wanted was a halt on the tuition fees increment. So it was through the demonstration that you were able to achieve a halt on the functional fees increment, you get. So to my understanding, I'm beginning to think that a demonstration is more hard than a dialogue in Makerere University. But rather, there are some scenarios that we've had dialogue and we've achieved results as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good, but this is general. Probably both of you could answer this.
Okay.
Now, I'm just looking at the implication of this 15% tuition increment. What's the implication on you, especially the students? I'll begin with Akelo, then Bart, you'll also have your input.
Okay. The implication of the 15% tuition increment, looking at the circumstances under which it was implemented, yes, we do accept that we needed maybe an increment in the tuition because, of course, the economy changes here and there. But then the increment that was made was so big for the students. I want to imagine a child who is young and cannot lift, let me say, a goat, and then here you come and give them a cow to lift. Definitely they will not even move a step. So that is what is happening in Makerere University. Since they increased this tuition, I think it was after the increment that you saw there was a time when the university management published a list of students who are defaulted, who had not yet cleared tuition. That shows how the increment is impacting on the students. That means most students are unable to afford. And this happens in a way that students end up, they're prepared for examinations, but because they have not cleared tuition, they cannot sit for examinations. Some even drop out because a student who is maybe selling things on the streets to afford tuition for himself may not afford in the coming 5 years if that increment, the 15% increment on tuition is still being implemented. You get. So that is the implication, and it is really not helping students out there, students from poor backgrounds who have struggled through UPE and USE to come to university, and here tuition is increasing. They definitely cannot afford that. So you realize it is really taking us backward because education really paves the way for people, and if you deny them education, how will they really succeed?
Mahati?
Yeah, first of all, I think the world is dynamic. Yes, I believe it keeps changing. So I want first to say this before I bring in my objective about the
implication. Yes.
You look at all these people who are at Makerere now, the professors who have, the elites, the academicians. These people went to Makerere those days when they could not even pay a penny. You look, they could not pay a penny, and they accessed all the services, the faculty allowances, the library, the handouts allowances and pamphlets and stuff, the living out allowances for food, meals and what. To the extent that they even used those years ago, they even used to tell them to remain in the halls of residences if they felt like going home wasn't good for them. They could tell them, please, you can remain alone. They could give them a bus. Those people who could go like to Mbarara, to Fort Porto, to Arua, they could give them a bus to take them and drive them home. Okay, all those things have ended. Right now, we are looking at a parent in the village there who is poor, who has now managed to struggle with her child from primary level to secondary level, maybe through UP and his universal secondary education, USC, for the secondary education and stuff. So he has managed to bring the kid at Makerere University. Then he increased the tuition to 15%. Then he has calculated all over, he has sold a car, he has calculated the money he's going to spend. Then the tuition is, is increased. Will that parent really manage to cater for the needs of that child at Makerere University? Leave alone that. That parent may not have only one kid. There may be many, And he feels like maybe he has managed to bring them out there. Maybe through UPE, the government has also been supporting. Through USE, the government has been supporting. So then he makes it to Makerere University. He wants to pay for that kid. Do you think that kid really will get all the needs he wants when this tuition is increased? So the implication is, to cut it short, we are going to reach time when people will start ignoring, actually not ignoring is not a good word, will start not to afford Makerere University. And everybody would like to take their sons and daughters to Makerere University. Because me, from the village, my village where I come from, actually even when you ask my sister, which university do you know in Uganda? Makerere. Because in my rural home, when people hear that you are at university, they just know that you are at Makerere. This is a pride. It's the best prestigious university in Africa. And people would like to be there. So how will they be there when tuition is exalted all over, day one, day two, and people talk about that, but nothing is being done. So I think the implication will be that of a negative impact to the parents' home and the students.
Thank you. Via, if you're just joining us, this is Talk Time here on UBC TV, and we are looking at the impasse, the current impasse at Makerere University, and that is the students, are trying to not agree, or actually they have not agreed to the 15% tuition increment, and as a result, they went on they started with a peaceful demonstration, as I said, but it turned into a strike because the administration could not, sit to table and agree with them on this 15% increment. And I am with Akello Fandis Mary, who is a third-year student at Makerere University doing records and archives management, and she is also the deputy guild speaker. But also I am with Mr. Bahat Nelson, who is a fourth-year student of journalism and communication, who is also a guild representative councillor. Yes. Okay. We've been talking about the implication of this 15% tuition increment, but in monetary terms, how can you how can you break it down? For example, give us something that probably someone watching can really understand the implication of this 15% tuition increment.
Okay, now in monetary forms, what's the 15%?
School fees, for example, yes.
For school fees, let me say if someone is, like, for example, if you're taking a Bachelor of Records and Archives Management, the current third years are paying a tuition of 1,050,000 shillings. But so the people who joined a year after them are paying 1,001.2. That is plus 15%, which is around 150,000. So next year, those who are coming will not use the 1,050,000 that I paid, but rather they'll use the 1.2 that the current years have paid. And now for the 5 years, it is actually cumulative. That means it is going to be increasing. If the next year is paying, if they're paying 2 million in that year, the coming ones will be based on the 2 million, not on the 1.5. So you realize that this tuition is going to increase, and at the end of the 5 years, it's going to be at 75%. An increment of 75 on the initial value you get. So actually the thing is just turning up, it is changing, and at the end of it all, people may not be able to afford, a layman will not be able to afford tuition at Makerere University.
Wow, that is, that's actually, you're not fighting for yourselves, you're also fighting for the other students who are coming.
Actually, that's what we are doing definitely, because we want to have a chance of these people also being brought and access the services at that pay. We have been accessing the services, and the pay that justify that Makerere University is a public university where people would want to go and access services at a cheaper price.
Very, very good. But also, I mean, this took about, before you guys, went for this original peaceful demonstration that turned into a strike.
Yeah.
You were, in dialogue with the administration for about 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So, what happened? What did they say?
What
they said,
happened?
no, we're not budging.
So we met the university management And after interfacing with them, they clearly brought it to us. As the university management, they do not have solutions in regards with policy issues. So they referred us, the student leaders, to the university council. So therein, the guild leadership sat and we drafted a petition which we lodged in to the university council, but it took a month without getting response. So this made us think it's like these people are not really, they're not really thinking about us. We cannot load in something for a month and nothing is responded, and yet students need to hear from us. So that is what sparked of lack of clear communication. If they told us, you're going to have a meeting with the university council at such and such a date to clearly tell you about the 15% tuition increment as you had required to know. At least there, I think the situation could have been calm. But nothing was done, so we had to act accordingly, just to make people understand why we want answers about this. And that we did through a peaceful demonstration.
Okay,
yes.
However much, my submission is, how much Makerere University administration, and actually the entire university, calls us, the students, the cream of the country, the intellectuals, the gallant Makereans, all of the things that make us happy, and indeed we deserve them. But they failed to understand one thing, the power of a student. And that's why you asked us later on, if I can remind you, whether really Makerere problems, do we think we can work on our problems using the strike, or we can? There is no means for dialogue. When we want to open up a dialogue between the administration and us, if they come, they allow to meet us, they will either intimidate us, they will either come, and when you want to talk about maybe a certain policy, like the 15%, they will come around and talk about the history of the ivory tower. They talk about how Makerere started. They talk about the things. They will not hit about the policy. Then the students will get annoyed. They will say, no, we are here to debate about this thing. Why are you bringing us all of these things and you're not bringing the policy? Yeah. Then they will say, you're being violent, you students, you're doing what? Now the meeting adjourned. We are not addressing you. They go in their gowns. They go in their offices.
Maybe just to supplement what he has said,
yes,
I think I would, like, if they're saying this, to give them a fair hearing, not having a predetermined decision when you're meeting them. I think it will help. You give them chance to express and you understand what they are meaning. But if we come for a meeting and you know everything, you already come with your decision, but just because you want to meet us, you come and listen and not do anything, that cannot help. So we pray that if we really have these dialogues, let them be willing to listen, and we get conclusions and decisions from the discussion, not from the predetermined decision. That's why they at times don't really be in agreement with our students.
But right now, the strike has actually paralyzed, all the activities, almost activities, especially, classroom, lecture room activities at the university. Now, as a parent, let me put myself in the shoe of a parent outside there.
Yes.
And, you're my children and you're at campus.
Yes.
For the last couple of weeks, going to the third, you have not been to the lecture room. How isn't this impacting on your education in a way?
Responding to that, of course it does impact, and I will not say that impact is positive, because if you're demonstrating
and remember,
here,
you're beginning exams on the 18th.
Yes. So if you're demonstrating, of course you're not reading, but it's useless to read and you don't do the examinations. This has happened. We've been quiet. People have been missing examinations, but we have nothing to do. Yes, I'm a leader, but if a fellow student comes and begins saying, Fanny's, I'm just missing by 50,000, I cannot access the examinations. I'm looking at that scenario. Right now it is 50, but in the next 3 years, it's going to be maybe 500,000. You get? Apparently someone is missing 50,000 to sit because maybe the fee is at 1,050,000. But in the next years, when it has risen maybe to 2.5, this person will not miss 50. They'll miss like 500,000. And here we still have a chance to turn these things around. Yes, the increment is realistic, but let them make it affordable to the students.
You're supposed to meet. What happens if there's nothing positive? Are you going to meet the administration? You're planning to meet the administration or the students themselves? I think maybe, but do you know of this meeting, for example?
Oh, okay. As students leaders, we have many plans we are doing, because now after hearing things from Parliament, then hearing things from administration, then also students putting us on pressure. Please, we want information. We want feedback. We want to know where, because the period of exams has arrived.
Yes.
People want to know what is, after all of these demonstrations and stuff, so what's on. So we are trying to make meetings still within us, the students' leaders, to devise on the means how we can have all of these things solved and worked on very well before we go out there.
But as far as we are concerned, of course, this is our working solution. We want to study. It's not that we don't want to do exams. We must do the examinations, and we want to get a solution and ensure that students can do exams, not reading and you don't do examination. That doesn't make sense. Yes.
You see, let me come in a little. I think missing lectures is really justifiable on a negative pause. Missing lectures, because we are all missing. The students' leaders, we are missing lectures, the students are missing lectures. But what is this instance when you have not missed lectures, you have continued to study and you went to your lecture rooms and you wait for that period when the exams have started, and a certain percentage, actually a big percentage of people will not be able to sit for these exams because of the tuition which has been hiked, because of they haven't cleared the charges. So for me, I think even if I miss a lecture, even if there are 2 weeks, but I'm fighting for a noble cause, that when this cause is achieved, many of us will sit for exams and our education will be triumphed. I think that is best for me.
Well, we are also actually, we're still talking about, lectures and stuff, but
Yeah.
we understand you'll be having 2 police constables in each lecture room. What's your take on that? I'll begin with you, Akelo.
Okay, my take on that. First of all, I want to appreciate the Vice Chancellor. He's really concerned about our security, we as the students, because it is not good to go to class and then you're disrupted. But bringing the police at the lecture theatres, really, I don't think it is viable, because this is going to divide people's attention. There are some students who naturally just, they fear policemen. And now taking a scenario of what has happened in Makerere, when you see policemen, you might even go back and be like, no, there is police, I'm not going to class. That
You
might
have to run away.
Yes, you run away because you go there, police is going to take you to under their custody. So I really don't think this is the best thing we could do. We can maybe have security in another way, but not deploying policemen at our lecture theatres. We need freedom. We've been having lectures without policemen. Why do they have to be for them? Why do they have to be in them for us this time around?
Because they want to contain you. Yes.
The
What
issue-
is your take on that?
Yeah.
Bertie?
My take is absolutely negative, because I'm looking now, the situation has gone away from their hands. How then could you, a lecture room where students come and study, then there are 2 policemen with guns and they are all over the place? As I was coming here, Edward, I passed at one of the buildings which is new and has many lecture rooms. It has many of them. I found a van of like 12 police officers. They were seated and 2 were on the entrance of that building. Then I stood around, I looked around, I asked myself, what are these people doing? I actually wanted even to pass by and ask them, what are you doing? These are students studying, then why? And also, I do not know what the government has to say about this. Because if you're looking at the police now guarding students going to the lecture rooms, are these strangers? They're students who come to access services. Some students fear police. Immediately, there are some girls who will look at the police officers and sometimes they fight even. They feel like, oh, will they attend lectures again? Then if they want us to have peace and we study and we prepare for our exams, then why bring then the security guards, the police officers, with guns moreover, not even just a baton and their attire, with guns and they are as if they are, I do not know.
But these people are not there to intimidate you. Probably it's a mental thing. As students, you don't have to fear them.
No.
Following what has been happening. Yeah, they've been brutalizing students. So if I've been a victim, if these army men or the policemen came and they beat me, and here I'm going to class and they are there, what will run into my mind? Will they beat me again?
But do you know how these people look like? Oh my goodness.
We know, they're just dressed in uniform. But anyway, some people believe that, the problems at Makerere University are, probably, is it underfunding? These are questions being asked. Is it underfunding? Is it, and some students actually are even Mwasa, some section of Mwasa. They think that probably it's bad institutional leadership and governance. However, Professor Venetius Variamureva, for him, he believes that Makerre's, problems are institutional and no amount of money can actually solve these problems. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back with those answers. Stay with us. This is Talk Time. Welcome back from that short break, and this is Talk Time here on UBC TV. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijananguma, and we are looking this time around at the problems at the Ivory Tower, and that is Makerere University. And with me is Miss Akelofanis Mary. She is a third-year student at Makerere University and offering records and archives management, who is also the Deputy Guild Speaker. I've also got Bahati Nelson. He is a fourth-year student of journalism and communication, but he is also a Guild Representative Councillor. These ones are called GRCs. And welcome once again. Before that break, we were looking at some different views about what causes all these problems at Makerere University. Some people say that Makere's problem is underfunding. Others say, or actually some students and a section of Mwasa, they believe that it is about bad institutional leadership and governance. And one renowned professor, that is Venetius Variamureva, contends that Makere's problems are institutional and no amount of money. Even if we were to inject their government were to inject their trillions, these problems would still exist. What do you think about those three different views? Let me begin with Bahati. Do you think probably the problem, even if we injected in so much money, these problems still exist?
Absolutely, in my own opinion, to put all what you've said in perspective, I think these problems will still exist. As you think, when I look at Makerere, actually the governance of this institution, I will give you an example right away. When they wanted to pass the 15%, the students' leaders who were there by then, they were told by the university to make a committee which was instituted, which was comprised of 8 people, and they gave them money. They went out to benchmark in Nairobi. They said
how it is done.
How it is done, how other universities do. Imagine, they wanted to pass a policy, maybe they felt they had limited funds to run the university, then they looked around where they could get funds, then they said maybe if we could put the 15%, we could really have funds to run this project we want to run. So when the students go there, they benchmark. After benchmarking, they come around. When they came, do you know what happened? They were supposed to make a general assembly, all called fellow students, leaders, or the public, inform the public. We have benchmarked the University of Nairobi, we have seen how things are done, and Makerere would want to increase, to make this percentage to fund this, or to fund this. But do you think they did that? They did not do absolutely. They just woke up in the morning and said, now we have benchmarked, this is correct, 15% should pass. And the university was like, yo, it clapped, because they knew now we are going to fund what? The stakeholders do not know. When you see these students on the street, they don't know. They want to first know if it is 15%, where is that percentage going? Is it justifiable? So I think failure to inform the people and alert them that this is where we are putting these funds, instead of just putting funds, we are putting these funds. Where are they going?
Yes.
They do not know where are they going.
Emily, what's your take?
Maybe I'll just supplement on what she has said. The management, okay, they may not really need to come and discuss with us everything, but let them make some things just be seen. Because I'll refer to the maybe halls of residences at Makerere University. When you go there, actually, this is what even made students strike them more. The status of living, like the bathrooms and what, they're not in good state. So if tuition has been increased and these things are not put right, if you go and take your study, the current year ones have not yet got their IDs. Yes, and we are nearing the examination period. So late when police...
That's also another problem.
Yeah, so if those things were at least handled, students would be like, our money is going here. but you're not providing good services, and tuition is increasing, and you're not saying anything from what you're paying. Fine, you're attending lectures and what, but those other things, even the library, it is really shocking. When you're accessing the library and you want to keep your bag, you pay some little money. But among the functional fees, we pay for the library. If they're just scrapped off those small things that make students question, I think it will be clear and people will understand. So accountability, let them make fees for accountability, not paper accountability.
Yeah, actually what I can pick out there is there is probably a gap. There's a communication gap between the student leaders and the administration of Makerere University. But how can that be improved? You know, the communication. How can it be improved?
Very good. That's
to avoid all these things.
That's a very good question. How can it be improved? I'm looking at Makerere University. Sometimes I even feel very bad. Makerere University, the recent rankings, we are number 5 in Africa. In Africa, number 5. That's a very big position. A prestigious university in Africa, in the first university in Uganda, and students cannot hold a general assembly. The power of a general assembly is constituted in the students' leaders' constitution. It is constituted in the university and other tertiary institutions. Why can't the university engage students through dialogue by creating general assemblies? Make it, we have Freedom Square, very big ground. Students can fit there because thousands graduate from there and fit there. We can have the students be there. The administration communicate. This year we are doing this. Good students, we are doing this. Let the students know.
Yes, but you're giving some good point there. However, Mary, probably give us your view. How should this communication gap be narrowed?
Actually, when it comes to communication, sometimes the communication is always between the management and with the leaders. Yes, we do get back to our electorates, but sometimes they will not really understand us the way we are trying to make them understand. So just as he said, a general assembly is good, and who calls for them is the speaker, the student speaker, the guild speaker. So I'm thinking in such a scenario whereby we are having workers, if the university had thought it wise, and maybe in conjunction with the guild leadership, we organize for a massive general assembly. Even parents are invited, they be around, and the administration is around, and students are around, and they hear from them. You get this it could cool the situation down, but increasing on the police that they bring and all those things is not really a solution to that. So communication is clear, it should be clear, and if they really just get in touch with the guild leadership, we shall really achieve that.
Thank you so much, and it's still talk time, of course, here on UBC TV. Well, you said something about, and this is general knowledge, that Makerere University, of course, is one of those very, very, renowned learning institutions in Uganda, in Africa, and also the world. However, as I said, I asked you this question earlier on, and you didn't get. Probably you are trying to dodge it, but you see, I still need an answer from the both of you. But the strikes, yes, these strikes can be there for obvious reasons. Probably that's the language the administration understands, but also this very, very good record and name of Makerere University is being tarnished by these strikes. And someone wrote that there's a joke that goes around, it's the Tower of Iron and Chaos instead of, Ivory Tower. Ivory is a good, it's something good. So, the strikes, for goodness sake, they are tarnishing this image of the university. How do you continue uplifting this good image of the university?
Actually, we as the student leaders, we regret having strikes as solutions to what we want. If we had had that meeting, and if the university, at least the university council at we had agreed as a petition, if they had called us, let me say that the 15% which they have halted on the functional fees was done in dialogue and in time, at least students could understand. We could understand that at least they're listening to us. But why did they have to wait for so long? We are humans. Let me say, yes, we were patient for that 1 month, but we lost it. But we are willing to continue being patient if they are willing to dialogue and achieve results. It's not our wish that we keep striking and tarnish the name of the university. That's not really our will. But it's because we are compelled. When you have no other option, what will you do? At this full demonstration, make people understand.
You are pushed in the corner.
Yeah, you're pushed, and That is how, and I think, just like I told you, it achieved something. So if they want to make it seem like strikes really sound more than dialogues, it is bad. They should reconsider the fact that dialogues work better and they yield results instead of waiting for strikes before giving us results.
Any comment there?
Let's have a comment. First of all, I would like to first justify that the strikes and demonstrations, sometimes they solve problems. And they act as key means to which people know that this is wrong and this is correct. I'll give you an example. You know, I like relating to facts so that people understand my point. In 1917, in Russia, there was a revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. This was about bread shortage and many other things, and the unrest that was there. People were against the Tsars, the Tsar dynasty. Actually, we are going now in the 6th month when these demonstrations and the strike. You think China is not growing? Do you think French after that it did not grow? Do you think neither Russia is not doing well because they have this? Or you think if the recent protests in Zimbabwe about bread and something that have happened, you think the country will not settle? So I think, as you asked me a question, I think Makerere University, there is the way how maybe there is a language it listens to, and that is the strike. And the more it continues to fail to address students' problem, the more it continues to fill those you call gaps, and it's a right word, to fill gaps that have existed between the students and administration. If those gaps are left open, the strikes shall be there. People who think like, Makerere University is always in scaffolds, in what? Maybe I shouldn't take my son there or daughter there. The image is, no, our image is not down. It's not down. We have had strikes even right in the times of the Binaisas when they were still there. I remember Binaisa didn't even complete his degree there. They had to expel him. Many people, those strikes were there during even 1945. They were there. Yeah. But do you think Makerere has not been going up and up? These people who have the feeling that Makerere University, the image has been tarnished, everyday strike demonstrations, I think they are very wrong. Makerere is growing, and it shall continue to grow, and it shall continue to be the ivory tower, and it shall continue to be the alma mater and the prestigious institution in Africa. Strikes will do nothing to the image of Makerere. It's one of the means we use to address our problems to the administration.
Well, and we really do hope that going forward these strikes will completely end, or at least the rate at which they have been happening will also decrease if there have to be strikes anyway.
Yeah.
But the wish for all Ugandans is that these strikes, actually the ivory tower, we are very proud of that institution, but when we hear all these things, it breaks our hearts. People have been there, and those that will come through Makerere.
Yeah.
But up until now, it has actually been the students who have been expressing the grievances. Have some of you people talked to your parents? What is their take? What are they saying? Are they pro or against?
Actually, when I talked to my mother, my mother was like, "Oh, son, don't go in the strikes." And then I told her, "But mom, look, you are telling me I shouldn't go in the strike." But I told her how tuition was increased and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Hey, then she told me.
After you had, I hope you did not brainwash her.
No. Then my mom was like, "Hey, meaning if it is concerning tuition, it is really concerning you." And she was feeling bad for parents also. She was feeling bad because I was like, she was like, "Okay, it's a normal cause. You can go on, my son, but make sure you're not arrested." Make sure you're not arrested. But you can go on because it's a student's cause and an institution, and it's affecting us parents. You can fight for us there. And did you watch a video of a woman, and the woman said, "We are tired. I want also to join Makerere and the strike. I have 3 children there. Why are they increasing the tuition? I want to join them and the strike." I think that can justify what the parents are thinking of that.
Okay, Mary,
maybe it depends if you really explain, like he explained to his mom, and she understood the reason. A parent really who analyze the situations maybe under which the percent has been increased and what is its implication will give a view depending on that. When I shared with my mother, of course, I didn't even share with her. She just saw on TV. She's like, "Why are you striking? Why are you demonstrating?" I told her, "Mom, it's not that because we want to cause chaos in the university, but there's a crisis." And she said, "As you've demonstrated, try to engage with the administration and get lasting solutions, because shouting on the streets may not help. You get. So they're also in support, but at least they're advising us to use the other means, not striking. You get. Dialogue.
As said earlier. Okay, anyway. After all this has happened, and of course you'll be meeting, probably you'll even have more meetings with the administration there. So what should be the way forward?
To begin with, on the way forward, first things first.
Because remember, you're recording and you're talking on behalf of the guild, and you represent the students.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Now I'm first talking about. I'm talking on my behalf of me. I think the way forward, the government should come together and they govern Makerere University as one. The government should not distance itself from the university. They should really come and feel they are attached to the university, because I feel like it's away distance. It has been distancing itself from these issues. It thinks these people should govern themselves, they should manage, but it should come in, because I realize the government has much power. The state has much power. If it says this should be this, and it can be. It can be. If it says maybe we want you to communicate to your students, explain everything you're doing, be elaborative, we think the university administration will do that. But if the government does not come in to do that, the university is not able to listen to us students. And on the side of the guild leadership and the students leader, I think what we are doing right now is really to work on, to bring the things in the way how the management, the way how the parliament want us to do them, and first come down and listen to these resolutions which parliament made and the administration, and also engage with the students and try to explain them to understand what our take is and what we are going on, and to give them feedback of what is coming out from the resolution that the parliament passed and stuff, so we can have the situation remain there, and also appeal to them might be to be revising their books and take their time also to mention academics.
It's just around the corner.
Yeah, to mention academics, because this is one of the main reasons why they are there. That's what I could say.
Yes, Akelo.
Yeah, maybe I will just supplement. Maybe the other thing that we'll request is the university management to look at the issue of the students who have been suspended. These are leaders who are leading many. I want them to imagine if the whole university was striking, will they suspend all of them? No. These are representatives of the many, so they should take that under consideration as they suspend all one students, because they are not just doing it on their own. It's a representative. So I'm thinking if the university can reinstate those students who have been suspended, because these are innocent souls. It was not their own decision, like let me go and strike and disrupt the university. No, they were working for the students. So at least if they can justify reason for suspending all the students, then that would be better. But you cannot suspend one person on behalf of the others, because these are leaders.
They want to make more noise.
Yeah, it's their obligation. You cannot run away from it. So I think as we address these issues, the university should take back and look at that. If they were the ones that they are suspended because they are leading on behalf of the others, I think that wouldn't really be good. So as we move forward, they should look. It's our request that they take that under consideration and reinstate these students, because they have a future to live. Yeah.
Okay, Mary and Bahati, of course, we're coming to the end of this show. But those were not your parting shots. But what would be your final words, your advice as you, the student leaders, engage Makerere University, management and leadership to ensure that this standoff, this impasse, is dealt with once and for all. Your final word, and then in about 2 minutes, then Mary will also have her final words.
In my final word, I want to tell Makerere University administration to come and engage with the students, communicate to the students, address their issues. Let it not feel like let it think that students are the number one stakeholder who need to know, to keep in dialogue with them, because Makerere University administration is serving students. Let them not distance themselves from students. Let them not have that feeling that the students are lumens, students are vagabonds, they are nicocoms, they are not all that they expect from them. Let them know that these students are people who come to get a service, and they should really keep in touch with them, not using these other means. Let them also realize why students do strikes. They have doctors, they have these professors. Let them research. Why do students do strikes? And let them work on those things. Maybe we can have
Okay. Yes, Akelu.
a good atmosphere.
Yeah, my final word would be we are going to request the university, because we as students, we are not against them, but we are working together with them, and we are really welcoming. Because as we speak for now, I mentioned earlier, the demonstration has not yet been called off. It can only be called off if students if they have clear answers to the reasons as to why they were demonstrating. Yes, we appreciate we have achieved a halt on the 15% increment on the functional fees, but what is still keeping the students in the demonstration mode is the tuition increment. Tuition fees, it has not been halted. That means it's still going to increase. And if you compare the tuition to the functional fees, tuition is much more. So our core reason for demonstrating was to get a halt on the tuition fees. So we request the university.
And you partially achieved that.
I'm going to urge the university, just as they have helped us, put a halt on the functional fees increment. Our core reason for demonstrating was to get a halt on the tuition fees increment, which is much more higher than the functional fees. So we request that they put it under consideration. Considering the implement for the 2 years, I think the university can continue with that at the 30% instead of the 75% which was intended. You understand that? So we are requesting them to take that on and listen to the students, because these are their children. As they said, they are parents. Parents listen to their children. Let them also listen to us, and we talk together and get a final solution. Because as we talk, the university is still at stake, because no mercy has not yet been implemented. People are still on that hike of striking and what. So we are requesting that in order to have peace, let us engage the students and get a solution to this. Yes, and the students, I want to urge all my fellow students out there to read their books, because clearly we are here for education. However much you strike, you should find ways of balancing your academics. You do not have to get retests throughout because we are striking. So I urge them to read and prepare for the examinations.
Thank you so much, Akelo Fanis Mary, who is a third-year student at Makerere University, and she's doing records and archives management. She is also the Deputy Guild Speaker, and also Nelson Bahati, although I prefer putting it the other way around, Bahati Nelson, fourth-year student doing journalism and communication, who is also a guild representative, councillor, a GRC at Makerere University. Thank you so much for having, accepted to come and talk to us, expound, more, as far as this strike is concerned. And yes, one thing that I would like also to tell the Makerere University administration, there is a disconnect that, according to what they have said, there is some disconnect as far as communication is concerned. I think you have to improve on that one so that you avoid these escalating strikes at the Ivory Tower, that institution that all of us are proud of. Thank you so much for you, the viewer, who's been there watching. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijenangoma, and we do hope that after this, probably in the next few days, this impasse will have been, been dealt with, and it will be normal once again at Makerere University. Thank you so much. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijenangoma. Up next is News Tonight. Thank you so much, and good night.
Moment with Pastor Jackson Senyonga of Christian Life Church.
Trample over serpents and scorpions. You tread as you walk forward. You don't stay. He's anointed on your feet. And you'll be like the two lepers. When they walk towards the camp of their footsteps were like 5,000 men strong. That's why the Bible says whenever you step with your feet up, you shall have dominion, you shall not be dominion. You will take captive, you will not be nkutunuulira ndabe setaani engeri gyakolamu emirimu gye njagala nkutunuulire ndabe katonda engeri gyakolamu emirimu gye mu linnya lya yesu. When I look at you, I don't want to see how the devil has been working in you, but I want to see how the Lord is working.
Hello, my name is Dr. Henry Dungu, a consultant in hematology and oncology. Health promotion and disease prevention programs focus on keeping people healthy. They aim to engage and empower individuals and communities to choose healthy behaviors and make changes that reduce the risk of developing chronic diseases and other illnesses. Join me on New Health Chat every Thursday at 9 p.m. on UBC TV, sponsored by National Medical Stores, who are mandated to procure, store and distribute essential medicines and medical supplies to all public health facilities in the country.
It's wrong against us to lose your temple with the land. Kidnapping people. Maybe in America. Maybe in America. Holy boss story. Cool. No, it was not cool. No, this is not cool. I'm getting tired. Maybe it's time to try something new. Hilarious.
Situations that you will have to go through, for all the obstacles you will have to move, for all the power and the blessings you will need in your life to enter the fullness of possibilities and receive an abundant life. You will need the power and determination that starts when your faith is awakened. Join us daily at 6:55 a.m. and 10:55 p.m. for Awakening of Faith, only here on UBC.
TV is the only public broadcaster of choice.
We inform, educate, guide, and entertain.
We bring you news as it is, where it is happening in real time.
We take you far away places from border to border.
We keep you up to date wherever you are.
In the languages of Kiswahili, Uganda,
and English.
UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
If you want
Culture has been for years forming the backbone of Uganda's economy, contributing approximately 37% of local growth, with 80% of the population practicing